Rules for using adjectives to make comparisons. Apart from being used to describe people and things, adjectives can also be used to compare people or things. In today's lesson, we are going to look at using adjectives to make comparisons. This is Benjamin from English Classes Online. Let's get started right away. First, a quick look at the agenda for today's lesson. We have 5 items on our agenda. Number 1, what are the adjectives for making comparisons? 2, the rules for using positive adjectives. 3, the rules for using comparative adjectives. 4, the rules for using superlative adjectives. And 5, the rules for forming comparative and superlative adjectives, or you call them comparatives and superlatives. Now let's begin to look at this. Adjectives for making comparisons. There are 3 degrees, all right, of comparison. But you need to first understand that adjectives are generally used to describe people or things. And then many adjectives are used to compare people or things as well. In making comparisons, there are 3 degrees of comparison. Positive is used for description, comparative for comparing 2 things, superlative for comparing 3 or more things. We are going to look at this specifically, and let's begin with the rules for using positive adjectives. Adjectives, as I already mentioned, are generally used to describe people and things. When we use adjectives merely as describing words, we are using the positive adjectives. And here is the rule for using positive adjectives. The rule is this: use positive adjectives to describe one thing. For example, Junior is a good boy. The word good is an adjective describing boy. Vero is a fat woman. The car is expensive. Take note of the adjectives there. Each adjective describes one thing. In the first example, good describes boy. Fat in the second example describes woman. In the third example, the car is expensive. So expensive refers to the car. Example 4, he is a strong man. When we are describing one man, we can say he is strong or he is a strong man. Example 5, she is a beautiful girl. We are talking about one girl. So we say she is beautiful or she is a beautiful girl. Now, let's look at rules for using comparative adjectives. One way to describe nouns, that is talking about people, animals, objects, is by comparing them to something else. You can compare one man to another, one woman to another, and so on. Now, when comparing 2 things, you are likely to use adjectives such as bigger, taller, smaller, more excited, more interesting, less exorbitant, and so on and so forth. Now, take note of the ER ending and the words more and less. These are used to make comparisons, and these are known as comparative adjectives. So here is the rule for using comparative adjectives. Use comparative adjectives to compare 2 things. That's the rule. When you are comparing 2 things, then you use comparative adjectives. Don't use comparative adjectives to describe one thing, and don't use it to compare 3 or more things. Use comparative adjectives only when comparing 2 things. The examples are as follows. Joseph is better than Junior. Here we are looking at two persons, Joseph and Junior. We want to compare them and we say Joseph is better. Better is a comparative adjective. Example 2, Vero's mother is fatter. So in this case, we are comparing Vero's mother, to someone already known to us. It could be Vero herself. All right. Then 3, the second car is even more expensive than this. We are looking at a car that is close to us, and we are saying there's a second one, and we are saying that one, we are comparing the one that is close to us, with a second one, that we are referring to. And we are saying that that second one is more expensive. So more expensive is a comparative adjective. And take note that we are comparing two things in all these examples. Now, number 4, his opponent has proved to be stronger. Now we have two people who are probably wrestlers or politicians or whatever they are, or boxers. And then we are comparing someone we are referring to with his opponent. His opponent is probably a person who is competing with him or fighting with him, as the case may be. And so we say his opponent has proved to be stronger. Take note that when we use stronger, we are using a comparative adjective, and we are comparing only two things or two persons in this case. Then example number 5, her younger sister is more beautiful than she. All right, her younger sister is more beautiful than she. Now, more beautiful is the comparative adjective comparing the lady or girl or woman we are looking at with her younger sister, and we are saying that her younger sister is more beautiful than she is. Okay. After comparative, then we have superlative adjectives. So here, rules for using superlative adjectives. All right, that's exactly what we are looking at right now, and I want us to see it quite clearly. Okay. Okay, so here, the rules for using superlative adjectives. When comparing 3 or more things, you will likely use words and phrases like tallest, biggest, smallest, most interesting, least excited, and all that. Now you have to take note of the ending est. All right, the est ending and the words most and least are always used, in making such comparisons. And these are known as superlative adjectives, or superlatives if you want. And the rule for using them is as follows. Use superlative adjectives to compare 3 or more things. Take note of this. 3 or more. Excuse me. You use the positive adjective to describe one thing. Use the comparative adjective to describe two things, and use the superlative adjectives to describe 3 or more things. Now let's take a look at some examples. 1, Mark is the best student in that class. Best is the superlative adjective. There are many people in the class, and then we are comparing all of them, and we are saying that Mark is the best. Number 2, Mary is the fattest woman in the community. All the women in the community are, in this comparison, and we are picking Mary as the fattest woman in the community. The third one, the president's car is the most expensive you can find anywhere. So we are comparing the president's car with all the cars you can find anywhere. And we are saying the president's car is the most expensive you can find anywhere. Okay, so the next one is number 4. Samson was the strongest man in the world. The strongest. We are talking of all the men in the world during the time of Samson, and we are saying Samson was the strongest man in the world. Number 5, Esther was found the most beautiful girl in the whole country. All right, the most beautiful girl in the whole country. So that is exactly how to use superlative adjectives. Now let's look at the rules for forming comparatives and superlatives. One important thing we must note when using adjectives is to make sure, when we are using adjectives to make comparisons, is to make sure or to ensure that you use the properly formed adjectives. This is why it is necessary to know the rules for forming them. All right, there are rules that govern the formation of comparative and superlative adjectives, so we are going to look at them. And we begin with the first rule. Most one-syllable adjectives form their comparative and superlative degrees by adding er and est. Now you can look at the examples on the screen. Big, bigger, biggest; small, smaller, smallest; fat, fatter, fattest; large, larger, largest; tall, taller, tallest; and short, shorter, shortest. So that is exactly. Now the comparative here, you have er. Of course, you have another spelling rule that doubles the G. Is a spelling rule that we call doubling the final consonant. When you have big and you want to make it bigger, you double the final consonant. Now that's a lesson for another day. It's a spelling rule, and you can look for a video I have already uploaded, on the spelling rules in English. All right, about quite a number of them. Just browse through the description section. You will find a video on spelling rules, and you will find different spelling rules that will help you learn to spell English words better. All right, so then this brings us to the next one, and that is rule number 2. Some two-syllable adjectives form their comparative and superlative degrees by adding er and est. All right, and others, especially those ending in y, form their comparative and superlative degrees by using more and most or less and least. Okay, so there are two things involved here. Some two-syllable adjectives, they are formed when we add er and est, just as in the case of one-syllable adjectives. But there are some that don't agree with that rule. So especially those ending in y, we add more and most. Okay, so let's see some examples. Examples are careful, more careful, most careful; useful, more useful, most useful; bitter, more bitter, most bitter. Then we have those ending in y: happy, happier, happiest; pretty, prettier, prettiest; dirty, dirtier, dirtiest. So this is one of the rules. Then let's look at rule number 3. Adjectives of 3 or more syllables form their comparative and superlative degrees by using more and most or less and least. Examples are beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful; exciting, more exciting, most exciting; famous, more famous, most famous; expensive, more expensive, most expensive; successful, more successful, most successful, excited, less excited, least excited. So that is the rule. Then let's look at the last rule in this lesson, and that is rule number 4. Some adjectives form their comparative and superlative degrees in an irregular way. So we call them irregular adjectives: good, better, best, bad, worse, worst, and so on and so forth. So this is where we are going to draw the curtain in today's lesson. We have been looking at the rules for using adjectives to make comparisons, and I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. If you had paid attention, you must have learned exactly how you can use adjectives to make comparisons. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video and share the video with your friends and relations. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel and make sure you click on the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified instantly. Now, I have some free ebook. I have a free ebook, a free PDF ebook on English grammar, all right? The basics of English grammar. So if you are interested in it, simply click on the link and download the ebook free of charge. You will find other ebooks that will help you in English learning. For example, Good Success in English is a complete study package for effective English learning. And there are others that you will find very useful in your desire, in your, in your quest for achieving proficiency in the use of English. So I want to say a big thank you to all of you out there for being part of this online community, for giving your support to this channel. English Classes Online has a website. You can visit our website on www.englishclassesonline.com.ng. You can also click on some of the links you will find there to buy some of the ebooks or the one we have given free of charge that will be useful to you. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you in the new video. Thank you and